Welcome to What's Up, Doc. Today we are talking with Dr. Baker about levies.
Hey there.
Hello. So, what is a levy?
Great question. In the state of Washington, to fund schools, the state primarily funds education, but they don't fully fund it. And there's a whole story behind that, but the short version is they don't fully fund public education. So they ask local communities to raise additional dollars, and districts can run levies and bonds. Bonds are for building and construction, it's a separate dollars, but levies are used to fund the operation of the school district. And so it's a way for schools to get resources to supplement what the state gives and helps run our school district.
How are the levies built? How are the funds for them built up?
So we have two levies that we'll be running in February of 2024. And the first levy is called the operations levy. And just like the name operations, it helps us run the whole operation of the school district. We often say levies are for learning. So it helps fund primarily people. So it helps fund us hiring teachers, counselors, nurses, deans, counselors, like really all of our staff. The state doesn't give us enough resources to do what we want, so it helps us fund really the people in our school district. It can also help fund things, whether that's books and materials or tables. It can help us with heat and insurance, like just anything that the school district operate, the operations levy. The second levy is called the technology levy, so it's more specialized, and it helps run our technology. It can help the computers you use. It can help make sure we have staff that know how to make sure our network works. It can help with professional development of our teachers, how to use technology. It helps with assistive technology, to buy technology for students that have special needs, where technology can help them with their learning. So those two levies, every 4 years we run them, so they expire every 4 years and we have to go back out. So they're called replacement levies. It's replacing these levies that have been in operation. So if our community supports these next two levies, it helps us keep doing what we're doing for the most part. We can also do refinements, but for the most part, it's like keeping us going is critical to the district.
And how do we vote for other levies?
These come out as ballot measures. They'll be out for the February election. So anyone who lives in our community who's 18 and older, so for some of our seniors, they're able to now vote. And so if you live within our school district boundaries and you're 18 or over and you're registered to vote, then you'll get a ballot measure in the mail, and it will show these two levies. And interesting, it's every district in the county is running levies. And so really, this isn't just a Bellingham, but it's regional and it's statewide. Pretty much every district, nearly every district in the state is probably running either one or two levies and possibly a bond as well for construction.
And what percentage of voters have to vote positively for it to pass through?
Yeah, it's for levies in our state, it's a simple majority, so it's 50% of voters plus one need to vote for it to pass. And that's in comparison to bonds, which is for building and construction. That's a supermajority of 60%, so that it's even a higher bar. So for our levies, it's a majority of our voters would need to approve or vote yes.
Okay. And what do you think would happen if we did not pass the levy?
Yeah, I don't really like talking about that question, but it's a good one. And it's happened and certainly in other districts around the state recently if they don't pass a levy. It's a devastating thing, because just think if we didn't have a quarter of our budget, and most of our budget is people. So just think of, in some ways, a quarter of what we do gone. What would happen, and what's happened other places, is one of the reasons districts run it in February is in case it doesn't pass for some reason, you then have a little bit of time to assess why didn't it. Was it some information that wasn't correct? Was there a certain piece of the levy that there was a reason behind? And then you can adjust and go back out to voters typically in April with another levy measure and hopefully pass it then. So if we didn't pass it, we would take some time to learn why, make some adjustments hopefully, and take it back out to voters a few months later. So it's in February, and it's important to educate our community of what it is. And for students, I love the, what would happen if we didn't have it. And, we wouldn't have as, we were talking earlier about before we were taping, all the classes you're in, the aerospace, and it would really hamper our ability to offer such great classes to our students. So it's important people understand what it is. And are you 18 yet?
I'm not 18
Not yet. So will you be 18 by February?
No.
No.
The
Okay.
month after.
All right. So for our students, because they don't get a vote unless you're 18, sometimes it's not quite as relevant, but it's so important for our students and for our parents to understand how kind of school finance works and the importance of levies to keep us going. So thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.